to the video walkthrough for the Beverly Stories. When you get your link, you'll be directed to a page that looks like this. Hit Use Template. When you bring it into when you hit Use Template, it'll bring it into your own Canva account, and just make sure to head over to File and make a copy. And this way, if you make mistakes and you're not quite sure how to start over, you have that master file available to you, and you can just start from scratch instead of trying to put everything back the way it was. And when you have done that, you're ready to head over to Uploads, upload an image or video, and upload your own images. When you do, it'll look similar to this, and you're ready to just pop in your own images. So I'm just going to show you a few tricks and a few ways to do things that you might not be aware of. If you want to change any of the fonts, you just highlight them, head over to the font box. This is where you change them, or type in your own brand font to see if Canva has that option available to you. You can change the sizing here, and you can change the color here, and that goes for any of the font. So just a little tip, if you need to adjust the spacing, so if you write something here that's a little bit too long and it doesn't fit in the box, you do have a couple options. You can, of course, change the font size, but if you don't necessarily want to do that, you can head over to spacing, and if you just bring this down a bit, you can see that the spacing is adjusted between the letters themselves. So you can actually just bring them in a bit more so that they're closer together, and it creates more room that way. And that goes for any of the text boxes. Now, so the spacing that you'll see, because these are Instagram stories, the spacing that you see here is intentional, and it's so that you can add engagement with stickers and question boxes and so on in your stories. So that's why these spaces are here. If you think that you're going to need a little bit more, you can simply just make sure that the photo box is highlighted, and then just draw it in. And then you can reposition the image itself by double clicking on the image boxes and just positioning it any way you want in the box. And then you can have even more space down here to either write descriptions when you're in Instagram, or to add engagement stickers, of course. Each of these everything on these are completely editable, so you can change them to suit your needs. In order to change the photos, you just grab your own photo, and you hover it over the box, and it'll pop into place. And once it's popped into place, if you're not happy with the orientation, again, you just double click, and you can change it around in the box to suit your needs. So this is a lighter image, so what I would do is highlight this text and make it the blue, and that shows up really nicely. And the same for this. Highlight the blue. And this one is harder to read, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to go to Cooper Hewitt, which is the font that we're using, and I'm going to use the heavier weight of it. And then I'm going to remove the bold styling, and that is much easier to read. If you still find it difficult to read, you can always just reposition this. What I've done is I've highlighted the open house, pressed Shift on my keyboard, and clicked on the second font box, and that creates a group. And now I can move them around as if they're one object. I'm just going to move it to probably around here so it's easy to read. And I'm going to change this guy. I'm going to bring him down over here, which is also easy to read. And I still have all this space available to me if I want to add engagement stickers in Instagram. So this is your testimonial box. You can change the coloring, and you can change this to a quote if you don't want a testimonial. And this is a line that's provided by Canva, so you can change the coloring. These are, obviously you can change that to open house, sold. You can change that to anything you want. In order to change the size of the box itself, you can move it out of the way, the text box, and then take the box behind it and elongate it or shorten it. Okay. When you see a text box that has two different colors, in order to keep it the same but change the colors, you have to highlight the color that you want to change itself. So you can't highlight this whole thing, or else it'll change the whole color. You want to just highlight that and then change it to whatever color you want to use for your cards. Okay, so this is an overlay. So in order to change the transparency, you might use an image that is, let's say this one, and it might be too transparent. So if you want to adjust the transparency, you head over here, and you can just up it a bit so that you can read the text very clearly. And then the same goes for this. You would want to change that color to blue, and then you're good to go. So everything else is pretty much the same. If you're having trouble accessing the box behind, make sure to just shift this text box out of the way, and then you can access the boxes behind. All right. And also what you were given were optional property icons. So let's just go up to something that says just listed, like this one. They are provided in the zip folder, and when you unzip that folder, there's going to be a folder called icons, and you were provided a white option, a gold option, and a blue option. So depending on your needs, you can upload them into Canva and click them once to bring them into your design, and just grab them by the corner to resize. And I'm going to just put them right here. And I'm just going to do 2 to show you. Bring that down to size. Bigger. And now we need to tell them how many of each. So I'm just going to hit T for text on my keyboard. Bring that down a bit. Say 2 and change that to white. That's a bit small. So let me move it up to 42. And that's perfect. Now, in order to make this easy on myself, I'm going to highlight this, copy, paste, and now I have the exact same size and font and everything for the bathroom as well. And then when you're happy with that, that's how that will look. And you can do that if you want to copy this and bring it into another frame, another slide. The easiest way you can do that is select it, select the first box, press Shift on your keyboard, and then select all the other boxes. And what that does is it allows you to move it around as one object. So if you want to keep it like this, I would suggest you right-click and then hit Group. And now it's all one object. So you can just copy this group and bring it over to this open house and paste it. And now you don't have to go through the hassle of redoing it every single time. You can do it again here. And of course, you're going to have 3 different colors, so depending on your needs, if you have a lighter image, for example, you might want to use the darker icons. And it's just as easy as creating groups and copying and pasting them into each slide. And when you're happy with the way that your slides look, you can head over to Download. Make sure that PNG is selected, and then you can either download all 10 pages if you want to create 10 of them at once, or you just select whichever page you want to export. And for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to say we're going to download them all. And then once you've hit download, it's going to create a zip file on your computer. You unzip that file and you send them to yourself however you normally would. So AirDrop, Google Drive, Dropbox, or even emailing them to yourself works. And then you're ready to use them on IG Stories. I hope this was helpful, and if you need any more help, please feel free to head over to 4th Street Creative /tutorials for our large resource library. Happy designing!